Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today I'm going to be doing some Metalmorph test hands. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name scratched in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. And if you guys would like to check out the deck profile used in this video, it is down in the description down below. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So Metalmorph is an extremely nostalgic trap that's actually one of my favorite trap cards in the entire game. And the cool thing about Metalmorph is there is so much potential for Metalmorph, just like the Red Eyes Black Dragon, to be able to turn any monster in the entire game into a Metalmorph version, which is so cool about Metalmorph. And definitely comment down below which monster you would like to see have a new coat of armor in the form of a Metalmorph form, because I would actually love to see Barrel Dragon have a Metalmorph form. I think that would just be so cool to actually see a Metalmorph version of Bandit Keith's other monster, Barrel Dragon. But definitely comment down below which one you would like to see. So let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck really quick and see what we can do for our first test hand. This deck is so fun to be able to play. So let's go ahead and give it a quick shuffle and see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and draw. We're going to draw into a copy of Ash Blossom, a copy of Time Engine, that's pretty good. Metal Illusionist is actually one of the best normal summons outside of Black Metal Dragon, another Metal Illusionist, and a copy of Moon Fang Dragon. This is actually a pretty good opening hand. So what we're going to do is we're just going to normal summon out our copy of Metal Illusionist. And there's something really neat about this card, because this card's level becomes 5 during your opponent's turn only, which is great to be able to work with our Metalmorph trap cards, because we need to tribute a level 5 or higher monster to be able to summon out the exact monster we need between Metal Zoa or the Red Eyes Full Metal Dragon. This card also has the ability to normal or special summon. We actually get to set a Metalmorph trap from our deck to our side of the field, and if we do have max Metalmorph in the graveyard, we also get to draw a card. So what we're going to do is just immediately set our copy of Metalmorph to our side of the field. But did you know there's actually 2 targets in the deck that you can actually set with this card? So you can actually also set to your side of the field, if I didn't already open it, you can set a copy of Time Engine as well, which is really cool because this card actually says this card is always treated as a Metalmorph card, meaning you can set either or of these cards to your side of the field. But since we already have Time Engine in our hand, we're actually just going to set our copy of Metalmorph to our side of the field, which is just really cool, but I thought that was a really important fact about the deck. We then also have the effect of our Metal Illusionist that goes off. That has the effect that you can declare one other monster type, and this card becomes that type until the end of your opponent's turn, which is an extremely important effect for this card to basically just turn this card into a dragon monster. So declare this card as a dragon monster so that you can actually tribute it to summon out the Full Metal Dragon. So during the end phase, we will be able to special summon out the Moon Fang Dragon, but make sure that you do set your copy of Time Engine to your side of the field just in case. And during the end phase, we will pass over the opponent. Remember, this is a dragon now, so we're going to go ahead and special summon our copy of Moon Fang Dragon to our side of the field. I love this card because it can actually search Dark Armed Dragon. So at this point, we're going to pass over to the opponent. This is now a dragon monster, so keep that in mind. And at the beginning of their turn, we're just going to be able to activate our copy of Max Metalmorph, tributing our copy of Metal Illusionist on our side of the field and instantly getting us a copy of the Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. That was really cool. That was actually on the bottom. But we're going to instantly summon out our copy of our Red Eyes to our side of the field, and this card will actually equip to the copy of Red Eyes, making it a 3,800 attack point monster, and it's a walking negate because you can actually have the ability, when your opponent activates any card or effect, quick effect, you can negate the activation and then inflict damage to your opponent equal to one monster in attack position's original attack points that your opponent controls, which is a great effect just to do a little bit of burden damage to your opponent and also use this card as a walking negate. Also, since it does have the copy of the Max Metalmorph on it as well, this card has the effect that it makes it so it cannot be targeted or destroyed by a monster or spell effects, making this card basically like a towers that your opponent's going to basically have to either swing over it or they're going to have to deal with it with a trap card, which is really difficult to be able to do. But you also have your copy of Moonfang, and you have an Ash Blossom in your hand, which we're just going to say we use to be able to block your opponent. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and go back to us. We're going to draw for turn, and we're going to draw into another copy of Max Metalmorph. We can then use the effect of Moonfang Dragon, discard our copy of our Max Metalmorph to specifically add a level 7 dragon from our deck to our hand, which we're actually going to add the copy of Dark Armed Dragon, because it just sets us up so well to instantly grab our copy of Dark Armed Dragon, because this card can actually search level 7 dragon monsters, which is so cool to be able to instantly get to a level 7 dragon monster to our hand, because we pretty much don't have any in the graveyard set up, but it's going to be pretty easy to be able to set that up later. We can then normal summon out our copy of our Metal Illusionist to our side of the field, use its effect, and instantly set to our side of the field a Metalmorph trap, which is going to be our other copy of Max Metalmorph, because I do play 3 in this build. Again, if you guys would like to check out the deck profile, you can down in the description below. So now we're going to go ahead and call this as a Fiend monster, and we're going to pass back over to the opponent. And then once you do, we're going to go ahead and flip up the copy of the Max Metalmorph, and we're going to tribute this on our side of the field as a Fiend level 5 monster during the opponent's turn, and we're going to be able to special summon out our copy of our Metal Zoa. So once we summon out Metal Zoa, now we have both monsters out on our side of the field, and it's really cool that we actually got to summon out both of them, and it's such an awesome play. And if our opponent does board wipe us, we do have the Dark Armed Dragon that we can summon to our side of the field. As we don't have any other Darks in the graveyard, we're just set up with the copy of Dark Armed on our side of the field. And you do have the copy of Time Engine as well. That has the effect that if a monster you control is destroyed by an opponent's battle, or by an opponent's card effect, you can actually target one of those monsters and special summon it, which is how you actually get around your opponent destroying this card. You can just instantly put it back on your side of the field. You target one of those monsters, special summon it, and if the special summon monster is a level 5 or higher machine, which it will be, you always want to bring back full metal. It has the ability that you destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. Then you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to special summon monster's original attack, which is 3,400 burn damage to your opponent, which is insane. So let's go ahead and go into the next test hand, guys, because this deck is awesome. I love this deck. It's so fun to be able to play, because Metalmorph is like one of my favorite mechanics in the entire game. And because Metalmorph is just so cool, because Yugi versus, or not Yugi, but Joey versus Bandit Keith is one of my favorite like duels in the entire series, because it's just so cool to see Joey have this triumphant moment. And there's so many cool forms of Red Eyes during that duel too. And just seeing it come back out of Time Machine is just amazing. And there's just so much potential to that. And if you guys didn't know too, this is actually a manga panel from the actual like show. Like you can actually see this in the manga or the show, where Axe Raider is being attacked by incoming machine, and right before Metal Zoa drops into a trap hole of spikes. So let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck and see what we can do for our next test hand. Shuffling it up, and then we're going to see what we can do. So for our second test hand, we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Moonfang Dragon, a copy of Called by the Grave, Limiter Removal, Metal Illusionist, and another limiter removal. We're going to be able to OTK like crazy with this hand. So what we're going to do for this particular hand is we're going to normal summon out our copy of Metal Illusionist. There's a lot of this where you're going to normal summon out Metal Illusionist or Black Metal Dragon. That's your two normal summons for the deck. We're going to normal summon Metal Illusionist, and once we do, we're going to set a copy of Max Metalmorph to our side of the field. Once you do, we're going to go ahead and just set our copy of Called by the Grave and set both copies of our other cards to our side of the field. In phase, this card is a dragon. We're going to make sure we call this as a dragon before we go to in phase. Then we go to in phase and we place our copy of Moonfang Dragon on our side of the field. The cool thing about this deck is it completely plays around Nibiru. So now once your opponent goes, we're going to go ahead and activate our copy of our Max Metalmorph, tributing our copy of our Metal Illusionist to summon out the Red Eyes Full Metal Dragon. That's a really cool combo to be able to instantly get it out on our side of the field. So now we have our copy of Red Eyes on our side of the field, just to show you how consistent it is. And if our opponent decides to hand trap us on the Max Metalmorph, we do have the Call by the Grave to stop them as well. And we do have both our limiter removals set. So once our opponent goes to their turn, they pass back over to us. We did negate something probably. We're going to go ahead and draw for turn into an Ash Blossom. Doesn't really help us here that much, but we do have the ability to be able to activate both copies of limiter removal. If they leave anything in attack position, at this point we're going to instantly win, because this card is going to go up by basically, like, you're going to quadruple this card's attack points, which is insane. Like, it's so cool to be able to do, because you're basically just going to go like 12,000, it'd be like 12,000 minus 800, it'd be like 11,000, I think, something like that. It'd be like 3,800 plus 3,800 plus 3,800 would be the amount. Or actually, no, it'd be double that, because it doubles it for the first one and then it doubles it again. So it'd be like insane. It'd be like in the 14,000, 15,000 range. It'd be insane how large this card would actually be to be able to just swing in and go in for game, which is just absolutely insane. This card is so cool to be able to use, because also a cool fun fact about this is when you double the attack points of this card, it doesn't destroy itself off the copies of limited removal, because this card specifically says the equipped monster gains 400 attack and it cannot be destroyed by spell or monster effects. Also, your opponent cannot target it with monster effects or spell effects either. So this card is just completely immune, which is insane. So this card is going to go up to like 76 off the first one, and then you're going to double it again to go up to 15,200, I believe, is the exact number, is what you're going to go up to when you actually double this card twice. So you're just going to swing in one time into any monster and it OTKs. That is insane that limited removal works that way. And if it doesn't OTK your opponent, you're going to pass, and then these cards are just going to go away. And this card will just basically live through the turn because it can't be destroyed by spell effects because of this, which is insane. So let's go into the next test hand, guys. Every hand we're summoning out our copy of Red Eyes, which is amazing. We are opening up our copy of the Metal Illusionist every hand, but we're going to go ahead and shuffle it up and hopefully open up another card. I hope I open up the Black Metal Dragon. If we open up Black Metal Dragon, it'd be really, really cool to be able to actually see, because then we could actually go in for some insane plays. I want to show you guys what that actually does. So let's go ahead and shuffle it up and then see what we can do. There's Metal Zoa. Let's go ahead and shuffle it up and see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and draw, and we're going to draw into a copy of Max Metalmorph, a copy of Zoa the Fiendish Beast, Darkness Metal Dragon, our copy of Limit Removal, and a Black Metal. There we go. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon out the copy of Black Metal Dragon. This is actually really nice that we actually opened it up. It's a little bit downside that we actually drew into the Darkness Metal, because now we can't search the Darkness Metal to show you guys the full combo, but I'll tell you about it really quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and link this away. It's kind of like a Dragon Link combo, but we're going to go ahead and link it away for a copy of Striker Dragon. Then we're going to use the effect of Black Metal, and usually at this point, you would actually search the Darkness Metal. Keep that in mind, you would usually search Darkness Metal if you don't already have it. But we're going to use Black Metal Dragon's effect, since it did touch the graveyard, to search out our copy of our Darkness, or Full Metal Dragon. This card is really cool to be able to search. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and banish the Striker Dragon, special summon out the copy of Darkness Metal, use Darkness Metal, revive this back to our side of the field, link both of these away, and then we're going to go full combo and summon Seals. You guys know that's full combo right there. We're just going to basically summon out Seals. And if you guys have noticed, I've barely touched the extra deck in this deck. That's why I included so many different link monsters in the extra deck. It's because it's so easy just to go into the link monsters, because you don't really have anything you need to go into. You could almost play Pot of Prosperity in this deck, which is really cool. So also, now this goes off for a second time, and we're going to be able to add a copy of Red Eye Spirit from our deck to our hand, because we already have the copy of the Full Metal in our hand. If you didn't have Full Metal, you'd add Full Metal right here. We can then reveal the copy of Full Metal in our hand. We're going to put it back into the deck, and we're going to get a copy of Time Engine, since we already have the copy of the Max Metalmorph. Now we have 4 cards to be able to set, and you have the copy of Zoa if you want to summon Zoa as well, because if your opponent controls a monster, you can normal summon this card without attributing, and if this card is in your hand, you can special summon this card in defense position, and if Max Metalmorph is not in your graveyard, your opponent can special summon a monster from their hand, and during the main phase, you can set a Metalmorph trap to your side of the field. So you can summon it to your side of the field if you want to, because it does read that you can actually, that if this card is in your hand, you can special summon this card in defense. Then if Max Metalmorph's not in the grave, your opponent can summon one. If you don't worry about that too much, you can just summon it, because we can just spin it off the field. Then use the copy of the Zoa if you want to be able to set a copy of Max Metalmorph to your side of the field as well. So we're going to get basically full back row on our side of the field, because we can activate multiple of these a turn, which is just really, really cool to be able to activate it during our turn on the follow-up, and then activate it during the opponent's turn, which is really good. So we're going to actually set all of these to our side of the field for 5. You can only activate 1 Max Metalmorph per turn, but you can activate it on the follow-up to get both of them out. So once this happens, we're going to go ahead and pass over to the opponent. At the beginning of their turn, we're going to go ahead and use the Max Metalmorph if we want to, or we can wait for them to put something on the field, tag this out, and then once you do, you're going to bring out a copy of Magnamut. The reason I actually bring out Magnamut here is because you can either bring out Magnamut, or since they special summoned a card from their hand, you can summon out Druisworm instead. And if you bring out the copy of Druisworm here, which is a really cool card. I actually consider playing this at 3 in the deck because of this. You can tribute the copy of Druid's Worm. It will spot remove a card off the field and establish us a negate on our side of the field as well, which is just really, really insane that you can establish a negate and be able to send a card because the Druid's Worm sends a special summon monster to the graveyard, which is amazing. Now, you can't activate another copy of this card because you only activate 1 max Metalmorph per turn, but during the follow-up, we can tag this out for another copy of the Metal Zoa X. So we're going to go ahead and let our opponent do their thing. We do have these set on our side of the field. We can activate the copy of Red Eye Spirit. If they deal with this, we can just put it back on our side of the field, which is amazing. And we also have the limit removal as well. So if our opponent passes back over to us and they don't really do anything, we're going to draw for turn. We're going to draw in a Metal Zoa X, which is cool because we're actually about to summon it. And once we do that, we're going to go ahead and just activate some really cool plays. We're going to go ahead and activate wherever the Max Metalmorph is. We're going to go ahead and activate Max Metalmorph, tribute the copy of the Fiend Beast Zoa, or Fiendish Zoa, and we're going to summon a Metal Zoa X directly from our deck to our side of the field. Now, once we get our copy of Metal Zoa X, I flip that face down. That's actually face up. This is actually face up because this is equipped to him. This is equipped to him. We can actually go in for some more cool plays, activate the Red Eye Spirit, bring back to our side of the field the Darkness Metal, and then once you do, you can use Darkness Metal, bring back your copy of Druid's Worm, and then you also have the copy of Limit Removal. You can reveal this in your hand, shuffle it back into the deck, set another copy of Time Engine, or you can set another copy of Max Metalmorph if you want to summon another copy of the Darkness Metal during your opponent's turn. And then you basically have gone full combo. We also have the limit removal that's going to double this and double this. This card is going to go to 3,600, I believe. Well, no, 3,800 because it's boosted up by 400 with this. So it's going to go up 3,000 and then it's going to go up 400 by this card. And so when you double it with limit removal, it's going to go up to 6,400. This card is just going to get massive, which is just insane to be able to just go in for game. And you guys can tell me down in the comments if my math's off a little bit with limit removal, but it's just a big number. It's a really big number to be able to swing in with both of these and limit removal. And it's really cool because you also have the Time Engine that you can use to be able to bring them back. And you have these cards that are going to be immune. So basically, these are immune to limit removal destroying them. And Druid's Worm can just give you another send. So you can actually tribute this during the opponent's turn and then step into another copy of wherever it is, Darkness Metal. And I cannot tell you, actually, you didn't see it much in this test hand, but you can easily step into the copy of Dark Armed using the Moonfang Dragon, because Moonfang Dragon searches it by discarding a card. So I think that's going to do for this one, guys. If you guys would like to check out the deck profile, as always, for every test hand video and every combo video, I do put it down in the description if you guys would like to check it out. It's a really fun deck. It's relatively budget as well, which is nice. And I love that about this deck, that it's so relatively budget to be able to play. And hopefully we just keep getting support for this deck because it's just so fun to be able to play. So that's going to do this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.